What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants. No hate. So listen, y'all. I'm outside of my house. There's too many people in there right now. I just wanted to make a quick video. I'm going to do this Deontay Wilder video right now, and I'm going to do AJ's video later, and everyone else's I'll do, I guess, all together or whatever. Listen. And like I tell you guys, I don't like to bet when it's a 50-50. And I didn't bet off of ego or pride, no. And, I'm not stupid. I don't have a gambling problem. I'm not going to do anything that's going to hurt my pockets or my family or nothing like that. But, I bet, I bet on Joseph Parker to beat Wilder. And I was saying, part of me was saying, I want to see him win. I want to see AJ win so they can finally get it on. But I also said as well that it doesn't matter what I want or what anyone wants. As long as the right person get their hand raised, that's what actually matters. So it's not like if the fight doesn't happen, it's for their legacy. So they should want that fight. Okay. But at the same time, it is what it is. Okay, look, I'll get into that either later in this video or in a different video. But let me get into the actual fight itself. Okay, let me say this. This is why I bet on Okay, so this is why I chose to bet on Joseph Parker. My logic and reason is not based on who I want to win or lose. It's based on what I see, the vibe I get from it, and the experience of seeing a lot of shit, okay? But you never know what a person's going to do when they come to a fight, like I always say. So a lot of times people think if they think I'm scared to bet, I'm not scared of a goddamn thing. And no, it's not about scared. I'm not afraid to be wrong. If I think you're going to win and then you lose, so be it. The reason I bet on Joseph Parker was for this reason, okay? For one, Deontay Wilder cannot box. Two, there's a huge misconception of what Deontay actually is. Deontay Wilder is not a Mike Tyson. He's not a Joe Frazier. He's nothing like them. Deontay Wilder is really a finesse guy that just happens to have a good right hand. But, I think that what people overlook, I know what they overlook in Wilder is the level of competition he's been fighting. And although he dropped Fury has his flaws as well. But, people try to build certain fighters up to be invincible, unbeatable. Okay, like Mark Madal, right? You see what happened to him earlier, right? Okay, and I never thought much of him. He's a big, scary guy. He's big and scary. He's just a human being to me. Nobody's scary to me. You're just people. That's it. But people give these little nicknames to fighters, and everybody starts losing their mind and start repeating what they hear. Now, when I look at Wilder, I look at the Helenius fight. I told you when I watched this, looked at the way he was moving in that first round, and just looking at his legs, and I said, it wasn't long. It was a short fight, so people, if anything, man, I don't see nothing. You don't. He just happened to catch Helenius and got him out of there. Listen, when you fight different styles, different top guys, I don't care nothing about these low tier guys. When you fight the top guys, it's possible you're going to lose because you're fighting other elite fighters. All of this Wilder right hand, what it hit you, there's no way you can take it. Wilder this, Wilder that. I keep telling you, all of this shit that you guys are saying is based on his fights with Fury. The same way when people boost Fury up, they're basing on his fights with Wilder. But when you fight other guys, example, see, Ali, he won against Norton, he lost against Norton, right? He won against Frazier. He lost against Frazier. George Foreman destroyed Frazier and Norton. Ali beats Foreman. So you can't sit here and go by, but he beat him, so there's no way that he can beat him. Example, right? When people were saying, there's no way in hell he's going to go 12 rounds with Wilder. Hell no. As slow as Joe Joyce was able to hit him. Okay, let me tell you something. That's the best fight I've ever seen Joe Joyce have. 2, him and Wilder are complete opposites. They're different. 1, Joe Joyce is like a freight train. That juggernaut. Come forward, walk through you. He couldn't do that against Zhilei Zhang because Zhang is just as big or even bigger than he is. So he couldn't do that to Zhang. So now he has to figure a way. See, and just like Wilder, Joyce is one-dimensional. Only he's really a juggernaut. Wilder is patient and wait because he doesn't have a sharp ring IQ. He has a low ring IQ. He doesn't know how to box. He doesn't know how to get in, set shots up, set traps. All he does is try to set you up for the right hand from the first round until it ends. That's all he does. When I told you guys, when he starts fighting against the elite guys, you're going to see the difference. Now, it's just a coincidence to you guys that now, along with Fury, he fights another elite former champion. This is why I don't see this as no fucking upset, for one. I don't care what the betting odds were. I don't care what the majority was thinking. I don't care about that. I go by what I see and feel because I call it down the middle. This isn't about who I want to win or who I like more. I don't care about any of that. Now, when I'm watching both guys, Joseph Parker is far more skilled than Wilder is. Always have been, always will be. And basically, he's not the same guy. So now people are saying, Joseph Parker's back. The old... No. I seen the same Joseph Parker that I seen fight against Joe Joyce. You want to know what the difference is? Wilder can't box. And I said, unless Joe Joyce can run in carelessly and possibly get clipped and get dropped. But see, this is what people don't understand. You know, Zhilei Zhang is a 283-pound guy that can punch and can box. Wilder only has the right hand. Wilder came in here 214 pounds. Do you think that when a guy comes in at like a much lighter, that guy's coming in to do this freight train thing and back you up and walk you down? No. He wants to be quicker and lighter on his feet. Wilder has no legs. And I don't just mean skinny. I mean he has no footwork. He doesn't have the strength in his legs to carry him around the ring effectively, where he can land shots, punch while he's backing up, punch while he's coming in, pivot, throw shots off the pivot, he doesn't do any of that shit. He doesn't have that. He doesn't even know how to put punches together. So yeah, I said, I'll take the bet. I said, you know why I'm going to take this bet? Simply because I want to put my logic to the test. I did it for me. Everybody in my house, right, that was going for Wilder, I'm like, yeah, y'all don't even watch boxing, or y'all don't even understand boxing. Everybody in my house that understands and watch boxing said the only way Wilder wins is if he knocks Joseph Parker out. There's no way he's going to outbox him. Now, what you had in your head was the Usyk fight. I mean, not the Usyk fight, I'm sorry, the Joe Joyce fight, right? Just like what people had in their head with Daniel Dubois was the Usyk fight against Jarrell Miller, which I'm going to definitely get into that video. I'm definitely going to get into that. But let me just stick with these two. So what I'm saying, do you see my point when you try to say, oh, but he beat him, so there's no way that he can't beat no, bullshit. Bullshit. You see what I'm telling you guys now. You can't go by what somebody else did. So in your minds, Wilder's so fat. Wilder doesn't throw combinations. He just throws a quick right hand. But the whole point is he doesn't even know how to set it up. You can telegraph that shit. So the point is people with this, oh, but he got to be perfect. No, Joseph Parker wasn't perfect. Joseph Parker is just that much better than Wilder. Wilder can't box. You understand what I'm saying? Now, because of what Zhilei Zhang did to Joe Joyce, I don't know what Joe Joyce's confidence is. I don't know if Joe Joyce understands that He has to stay the same way. He just has to find a way to move his head and learn how to be more defensive as he's coming in, but he needs to let his hands go. His best defense is his offense. You understand what I'm saying? When he's coming in, he doesn't need to just come in a straight line and just keep eating shots. The reason he was eating shots against Zhang is because Zhang could box. Well, can Joseph Parker box? Yes. But stylistically, he didn't have what he needed to beat Joe Joyce. Fought him the wrong way. His style gave him problems. Wilder is not a brawler. Wilder lays back and waits and waits and lose rounds, land the right hand, fights over. That's what everybody was expecting to happen. Could it have happened? It's possible. But like I told you guys, when you're fighting lower opposition, okay? Yeah, it looks real impressive. Like I said, when I said about preserving Adrian Broner, what did I say? Put him in there with nothing but C- fighters. Let him talk his shit like he does. You understand what I'm saying? And let him land a fight that's going to be a big payday, because that's going to be his last hurrah, because he's going to lose. You understand what I mean? Because if you put him in there with anybody worth any quality opponent, even a C+ fighter can beat Adrian Broner. That's my point. So when you hear all of this shit that Wilder was talking, Wilder himself said he hasn't taken any punishment, which I'm like, Fury beat your ass. What the hell are you talking about? You took punishment. You just didn't take punishment on a fight-by-fight basis. But Fury beat your ass bad enough. What you mean? He said, I'm still young. You know I'm still sexy. Remember that shit he said? Huh? Now, he said everybody gonna see what I've been doing. They gonna see the work I've been putting in it. He basically spoke like he was ready, like no excuses. He's ready. All that. That's what he said, right? He told everybody he'd destroy Andy Ruiz, right? Yeah. But at the same time, did y'all hear what he said at the end of the fight? He said he thought he won the fight. I had it a shutout. So did all the judges. Whitewash. I didn't give him one round. He lost every single round. He got beat up. He got embarrassed. Okay? And I told you guys, when you fight the top guys, it's very possible that you can lose simply because you're fighting guys that belong there. Then he says, they asked him, does he feel like he still had the same hunger and everything? He said, I don't know. And I said, see, he's already, go ahead. Now, here's the excuses already. So when you say, I don't know, you already talked about how you made my, I'm a happy man, I'm going to go home to the family, spread the love, and all. Okay, that's all great. But you basically just sat here and said, you don't know if you still have the hunger. So that's the excuse. You know what? Yeah, Wilder good. He already made his money, man. And so, AJ don't want to fight. All the excuses, right? I said, you guys, since he's already said that shit, right? That's going to be the excuse. The hunger's not there no more. I'm successful outside of boxing. He already said he don't miss boxing, right? Okay, so are you telling all these people that's been out here supporting your career that you just came back for the money alone? Because if you're going to thank people for the love and support, then that means you need to know that you're ready when you get in that ring, right? I'm going to go get these people what they paid for. No. The bottom line is Deontay Wilder is not a skillful fighter. And like I told you, when you fight somebody and you can't knock them out, you can't land that right hand, or you land it and they still don't go anywhere. You understand? Because people say you're the hardest puncher of all time, all this shit and everything. That means that, and like people said, only Fury can beat him. Nobody else can beat, right? See, all you big mouth motherfuckers. But when I say what I'm saying, or anybody else speaks the truth about Wilder's inability to know how to box, and he has no ring IQ whatsoever, we're hating on Wilder, Wilder this, Wilder that. Yeah, right. Shut the fuck up. That's what I've been telling you guys from day one. This dude cannot box for shit. So even, different people, different boxing personalities tell me, I think Wilder's a better fighter than we give him credit for. Wilder is not a good boxer at all. How do you get outboxed by a guy like Gerald Washington, Arthur Spilker, all these people? So again, that's what everybody was expecting. He's going to lay back, bow, night. Night, night, Joe. Good try. But nah. Had he won the fight, do you think he would have said he lost his hunger for boxing? He would have said something like, not at all. You know, Joseph Parker's, you know what I'm saying, he's a former champion, man. It just took a while, but eventually I'm going to catch these guys and get them out of it. That being said, now, Anthony Joshua, which I'm about to get back in here so I can watch the fight, he has to win this fight to go forward to do the things he needs to do. Now, let's say Waleed was to actually win. This takes the demand. I don't even need to say demand, because this fight, if it wasn't for the Saudis, they all wouldn't even been on the same card. This whole night wouldn't even happen anyway. So, but the interest in that fight dies, because now it's about redemption. Both of them have something to prove. Neither one of them are seen the same way, and this is like a last, chance to get back in the mix type situation for either guy. So, no, why the fuck with this? And the Saudis were trying to get them to sign a deal, from what we understand, to fight each other before these fights even took place tonight. So, at the end of the day, the fights would happen, but it's not going to be the same thing. And who's going to really care? If both of them should lose tonight, Wilder already lost. So, if AJ was to lose, well, how does all of a sudden this still enter? No. And both of them already have multiple losses. See, what the difference is, and what people understand is, so all the people that was talking about how Wilder and Parker should have been the main event, and they expected this to be a good fight and people were saying, no, most people wasn't even saying it was going to be a good fight. They was just saying Wilder's going to destroy Joseph Parker. And for people that was watching the fight, even in my house, and they're going to see what I want to see Wilder, I'm like, you motherfuckers are asking this man to do shit you've never seen him do. When are y'all going to learn? But you know what everybody said at the end of the fight? Damn, Aries, you was right again, man. What are y'all, like, just rebellious or something? Like, bro, I don't take it personal. I don't care. Certain fighters, you're glad to see them win. I'm lose, or some you want to see win because of what they bring to the table and, whatever. But let me tell y'all something. Deontay Wilder knew what was at stake. And I got to bring this other fat fuck into the picture, because they both was doing the same thing. See, Deontay Wilder talked more about Anthony Joshua than he did Joseph Parker. He sat there and sounded cool, calm, and collective about how he was going to, knock Joseph Parker out. Like I told you, he's always sitting in the gym somewhere, hitting these little foam sticks, getting his hands wrapped, talking about how he'd knock this guy out in 3 rounds. He'll knock this guy out in 3 or 4 rounds. Right, what happened tonight? Yeah, what happened? And I told you, it's easy to talk that shit, but him and Jarrell Miller are a lot alike. Because Jarrell Miller talked more shit about Anthony Joshua than he did about Daniel Dubois. You see what happened to him tonight, right? And I got a video coming for that motherfucker too. But at the same time, let me explain something to y'all. See, this robotic mentality of this guy beat this guy, so he'll beat that guy. Well, this guy said this and he said that. Him and Wilder both, Jarrell Miller and Wilder, had the same response about Andy. I smoke Andy Ruiz. Oh, Andy Ruiz don't want this work. Oh, all you gotta do is sign the contract. He overpricing it. No, now compare the reaction that Wilder got when he knocked out Robert Helenius. Joseph Parker's not Robert Helenius, and I don't care if you knock somebody out in the first round or the last round. The point is to get the win, right? So now the fact that it took AJ knocked him out in 8. And Wilder did it in 1. You see my point? Automatically, Wilder beats AJ. That's a stupid fucking logic. Bottom line, well, the fact that Muhammad Ali won and lost to Joe Frazier, and basically Foreman knocked him out in 2 rounds. If we're going to go by that logic, then that means, well, he knocks Ali out in 2 rounds as well. What happened when they fought? You can't go by that shit. And although Hearns and Hagler, they had a 3-round war, okay, and all 3 rounds were exciting, how many people really thought that shit was going to end in 3 rounds? Yeah. Now, Hearns supposedly hits harder than Ray Leonard, right? So if he couldn't hurt or knock out or go the distance with Hagler, how was Leonard going to do it? Like I told you guys, Leonard is a better boxer than Hearns. He's smarter than Hearns. Hearns' style gave him problems, with height and reach and all of that. But when it comes to actual boxing IQ and being able to switch up and do things different, Leonard can do more things than Hearns. See, but if you a Hearns fan, no, but when they fought and he was winning, yeah, stylistically, my point. Like y'all always talking about how styles make fights, but when it comes to the fighters y'all like, somehow y'all forget this shit. And all of a sudden it comes to, well, this is what's going to happen. People, let me explain something to you. When you fight nothing but bums. In other words, if Anthony Joshua, for example, would have fought all the same exact people that Wilder fought, he'd have beat all of them as well. None of those guys were high caliber fighters. I told you guys, when you start fighting elite guys, then you start to see the levels. Then you see what you're made of, what you know and what you don't know. All of this shit about what Wilder should do this and that, and I ask you, when the fuck have you ever seen him do this shit you're talking about? People just start laughing. I know, right? But I mean, yeah, exactly. Get real. Be realistic about what you're saying. Deontay Wilder, okay, what he's been doing has worked for him. But when you are the WBC champion and you're like 40 fights in and you're fighting guys like, 30, 40 fights in, whatever, and you're fighting guys ranked 300, 400, 200, 100, you should knock these guys out. And he couldn't even compete with Joseph Parker. And in the time that he did land, and he started landing late, he couldn't land shit early in the fight. The time that he did land, Joseph ate the shot. He hurt Wilder several times. And let me explain something to y'all. You see when Wilder's hopping around on his legs and how slow he is and how scrawny his legs is, and you got people coming in comment sections talking about, yo, champ has really improved. You can see the improvement. And what? Because he's standing there hopping around on his legs? Do you see him fight in the ring the way you see him train? Do you see him do those same things? Never. So, basically, this wasn't an upset to me. And I said, I'm going to bet. You know why? I don't care if he wound up landing the right hand and he gets Joseph out, okay. But I think Joseph beats him because the only way he's going to beat Joe is if he knocks him out. There's no way he's going to outbox Joseph Parker. He's not Joe Joyce. Do you see him fight the way Joyce does? No. Does he walk you down and just wing shots keep coming pressure? No. Pressure, constant pressure. No, that's not what Wilder does. A completely different fighter from Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce style would give Wilder so many problems because Wilder depends on you to stand still or go backwards and he come in and catch you and dictate the pace. Wilder doesn't know how to control distance. I heard a fighter say that shit today, and I said, that's bullshit. Wilder doesn't know how to control distance. Wilder stays on the outside to stay safe. Wilder doesn't come in until he's ready to punch. He doesn't know how to control distance. If he knew how to fucking control distance, right? If he knew how, he would have knocked Fury out. Yeah, he'd have knocked Fury out. No, the less active you are, the more Wilder will do. And that's just the way it goes. But what Wilder does, if he see that you're reluctant to come in and take charge, then he'll try to be first at times. If you're not letting your hands go, well, yeah, you're showing him you don't want to fight. So my thing was like people talking about, oh, Joseph Parker got to avoid the right hand. He got to stay on the outside. How the fuck is he going to beat him on the outside when he needs to get close? The best way to take his right hand away is to back him up. It's as simple as that. He's the shorter guy. He's 6'4", 6'3", 6'4", fight the guy 6'7". He needs to come in and get, box his way in, throw that right hand over the top like he was doing, catch him. There's a couple of times when he would come in and he would come in and throw two shots. He'd come in and, because you know how Joseph liked to lunge. And, it's like, okay, just don't get careless. Lunge, come in, be sharp, be smart. Everything that Wilder does, everybody's anticipating the right hand. Oh, you got to be careful going to the body. Oh, he got to be careful throwing the jab. You got to be careful throwing the hook. You got to be careful breathing. You got to be careful doing anything because all y'all anticipating is the right hand landing. So I'm like, yeah, so the point is these motherfuckers are scared. Joseph Parker in this corner isn't. You see, the right hand. Y'all got this shit locked in y'all head and I don't. I keep telling y'all. Y'all make these motherfuckers like they're unbeatable. And when all these people talking, yeah, go look on my own channel in the comments. The only person that can beat Wilder is Fury. How? Y'all said he cheated. Now y'all saying that's the only person that can beat him? Okay, well, add Joseph Parker to that list. Well, that's because Fury gave him... shut the fuck up. Like, seriously. I told you guys, Wilder is the real hype job. He's the one overrated because y'all act like behind that right hand is a plethora of skills. No, just the right hand. I've been telling you guys this shit from day one. So, yeah, now when you can't get a guy out of there, now what? I told you I got dynamite in both fucking hands. Coaches always, like, I remember from the time I was a kid, it was like, yeah, always keep your focus on boxing, being smart. Because even though you can punch with either hand, powerful mule kick type punches, you never know when you get in there with somebody that maybe you can't catch them the way you want to or can't knock them out. That's where the boxing IQ kicks in, and there's always different ways to chop down an opponent, and I've always believed in that. So when I see certain fighters, man, when I look at fighters and I see things, I'm not, I'm not gonna go along with the popular answer. You might think a guy is way better than what he is. That's why I don't see a lot of these fighters the way most other people do, because a lot of it is just what everybody's saying is, so this is what we got to do. Didn't Mark Madov look, or however you say his name, didn't he look pretty plain tonight, real simple? And I never thought much of him because I always said, okay, he has power. He's a strong guy, but he's slow, and he doesn't really do anything special. He just throws hard punches. He don't set you up right. He don't do, like, he's not tactical. He doesn't. I just didn't think much of him. But he's a big, scary man. Right, whatever. To a coward, yeah. He looked real plain tonight. And I said, look, you saw tonight he can't take body punches. Wild shots, gassed out, no stamina, conditioning poor. Right. He looked bad. Yeah, ain't no way Gabriel gonna win. Hell no, he's gonna destroy Gabriel. Gabriel can't beat him. Okay, what happened though? Just saying, what happened? So again, I don't see people the way others do. Like, look with Dimitri Bivol. I felt like he would beat Lyndon Arthur. I didn't feel like Lyndon Arthur had anything nothing. I mean, you see the thing with Bivol. Bivol's a really solid boxer. So for people that's knockout crazy and, people, he should do this, he should do that. If he does fight Beterbiev, I'm picking him to beat Beterbiev. I always picked him over Beterbiev. Beterbiev can fight. He can punch. He's strong. And he does have... He's a solid guy. I just think Bivol is just all around too skilled for him. And too smart to stand there and just get hit with those shots. And to be perfectly honest with you, if that fight does happen, I'm going with Bivol all the way. Like I always say, you never know what's going to happen come fight night. But Bivol has been looking pretty consistent. People feel like he should be more of a killer going in. But it's like, man, let him do his thing his way. He's winning. Lyndon Arthur didn't have anything for him to worry about. And he showed he's a sharp, smart fighter. And Bivol looked really good tonight, man, But listen, as I said before, guys, once you start looking at a fighter and you start repeating what the Max Kellermans of the world, the Paulie Malignaggi's, even Mike Tyson and whoever, all these guys got all these different views on who's who. When these guys are wrong, they start talking about what he should have been doing was, yeah, exactly. Shit that he never does. Shit that you never see these fighters do. And on top of that, shit that you've seen them do against lesser opponents. See, that's why we say skills pay the bills. So when you make adjustments, readjust again, constant, that's when you hear the term chess match. Well, sometimes, this is my point, sometimes you have to understand, you might be, the heavy favorite, but your opponent is there to win. I do not see this as no upset. I see this as a lot of people looking stupid because they just knew Deontay Wilder was going to knock out Joseph Parker. And for a man that went from sitting here, talk about how scared Anthony Joshua looked. I had like 8 videos I scrapped because I said, nah, I'm just going to wait the fight night. You let all this shit happen. Anthony Joshua was terrified of him. When they stood next to each other, he could see AJ was scared. What? And you smiled and stuck your hand out. The dude is delusional. Used to shook his hand, put your hand on top of his head, and smiling and wish him nothing but the best, just to go back even a couple of days ago, talking shit. Listen, all of that shit is this. You guys, him and Jarrell Miller, same way. You guys, you know what? Let me talk about both of these. Yeah. Let me do that. Let me talk about both. So Jarrell Miller, same way. Jarrell Miller talks all this bullshit, right? And Jarrell Miller constantly talking about Anthony Joshua and not Dubois. He brushed off the point of him fighting Ruiz. He'll do this to Ruiz. He'll do that. You know, I picked Dubois to beat Jarrell Miller. I said the only way I can really see Dubois losing this fight is if he just goes and fight completely stupid. And or get gun shy and just fight stupid. Because Jarrell Miller has nothing. Jarrell Miller's not strong. He's just big. 330 pounds of fat blubber. The guy don't throw as many punches as he used to. That's how he won all of his fights. Pressure in his weight. He doesn't punch hard as it is. He throws all arm punches. So if anything, he has weight behind his shot when he wings something. If he, a guy can get clipped. I've heard people saying as long as Dubois don't get clipped, if he does, then he's going to give up. He's going to quit. Like, goddamn. And what are y'all going by? The Usyk fight. Also, what are you going by? When he got the retina situation, when he got his eye socket broken or whatever, however it was, against Joe Joyce. So, if he couldn't handle Usyk, how is he going to handle Jarrell Miller's big side? Wait. So, do you think Jarrell Miller could beat Usyk? Is that what you think? So, okay. And if the answer is no, then what are you talking about? So now you got people saying they don't think Anthony Joshua is as skilled as Joseph Parker. So the question was, well, who wins if they fight now? I don't know. What the fuck are you talking about? See, this is my point. You're saying these things because you're thinking way ahead. The fans think just like these fucking commentators and everybody else. You're asking them about fights that haven't even happened yet. Let these fights happen, then we'll get into what happens later. But with Jarrell Miller, I'm glad that fat motherfucker lost. I don't care nothing about I'm a Muslim now. Well, Allah didn't save your ass. And they're grabbing your dick, telling people to suck your dick, calling people bitches. You so-called holy men walk around here cursing and swearing and acting just like a so-called person of the world. It's not even, the change is not even for spiritual, guidance and so-called everlasting life and all this shit. No, it's more of a thing just to be a part of, but I'm still going to do the same shit that I do. It's like getting married, but your wife is still a whore. Oh, you're married now. You're not supposed to be out here sucking off other men. And you understand what I'm saying? You're not supposed to be out here running around a bunch of different women. You married now. You understand? But, whoa, yeah, right. That's how religion is with these people. So I don't care nothing about him becoming a Muslim and crying and all that shit. Why I'm glad he lost. Why? He talks so much stupid shit. He doesn't talk logic shit. And he knows he's on borrowed time. He knows he's not good enough to beat Anthony Joshua. I'm not sure about Deontay, to be honest with you, because I told you guys Deontay is, other than he's just a one-dimensional, one-trick pony, and I'm not ever impressed by that. So when I'm listening to him talk, and I watched him get his ass kicked by Daniel Dubois, it shows you he's not strong. He's 330. Daniel Dubois came in, 238? He couldn't muscle Daniel Dubois back. And people thought he was going to tire himself out, trying to push him back. Listen to the commentators, okay? No, he's not going to tire himself out. That's yet to be seen at that point when they were saying it. But it's like, oh. But if you watch it, he's landing shots. Jarrell Miller was pretty much doing much of nothing, just walking, figuring he's going to just wear him out, make him get tired, then start trying to pour it on. Jarrell Miller is one-dimensional. And like I said, he throws a bunch of little soft touch punches. Then he just try to lean forward and he throws arm punches, but he leans forward, he throws them, he leaves himself open. And when the ref stopped the fight, I just started laughing because I'm like, it's the last round of the fight. Jarrell Miller knows he lost that fight. And, you know, he's trying to use Anthony Joshua's name for a big payday. So, see, he was doing what I suggested they do with Adrian Broner. Get this guy just lesser opponents. And you know why I'm glad that Daniel Dubois beat his ass too? Because his original opponent was Derek Chisora. And remember, when he was sitting in that car doing his little self-recording, he said he wanted Derek Chisora and Dillian White. And then he wanted Manuel Charr. Look at the three names he said. And out of all of them, okay, I could understand the Dillian White situation. But Manuel Charr and Derek Chisora, see, because he probably would have beat Derek Chisora, you know, and because Derek has really slipped even more. Like you could see he's definitely not the same guy at all. You know, he's not even he's done. He's done. And see, what would have been said was, oh, he beat the gatekeeper, he showed this and this, and Derek always comes to fight, and blah, 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 and whatever it may be. And let's just say if it would have been a slugfest because of their styles, people would have been caught up into that whole, you know, hype of, yo, they had a war. And then all of a sudden now this fat motherfucker is in title contention. Or he's fighting, you know, the point of being somewhere he didn't earn. He had 4 bullshit fights, and his last fight before tonight was against Lucas Brown. And nobody's talking about no fucking Jarrell Miller fight. So my thing is, you're only using Anthony Joshua's name to draw attention to yourself. Because anytime you do a video, you got 50, 40, 60, 70, 80 other people doing the same video, so they keep seeing shit like Jarrell Miller punks Anthony Joshua. Jarrell Miller steps to Anthony Joshua. Jarrell Miller gets in Anthony Joshua's face. Jarrell Miller confronts Anthony. So all these different people are seeing this bullshit. Trying to build a demand for yourself without earning it in the ring. And that's what I don't respect with any fighter. And I was glad Daniel Dubois beat that ass. It was just like, yes, so finally this fucking clown can go the fuck away and just shut the fuck up. And I hope Usyk just does the same shit to Fury. Because I just get sick of watching these guys get treated like royalty. And these guys walk around here making hypocrites of themselves, making a mockery of this sport. They make their money, get a middle fingers to the fan, but these idiots still go out here and cheer for them anyway. And Jarrell Miller is just a guy who hasn't accomplished jack shit. Okay? And so I was so glad that Dubois beat that fucking ass. I was so glad that he did it. Because it was just like, okay, good. Now he can go the fuck away. Not personally for me. Fuck him. It's just the point. Even having to cover stories and do shit and just like hear this motherfucking name come up again. Fuck him. Fuck him. Now, for the people that was talking about another fighter, who again is an overrated guy, another underachiever, never did nothing, but fight a couple of guys and got famous for losing. Luis Ortiz. Look at his resume, look at his wins. Who the fuck has he beat that's elite? No one. So what happens? They start comparing Luis Ortiz to Joseph Parker. I've been telling you motherfuckers, Joseph Parker is better than Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz, I always say, is almost decent. He's decent, man. He's decent. You know, nothing special about him. I say Joseph Parker was better. Well, because of the rivalry of AJ and Wilder, well, Wilder fans were saying Luis Ortiz is better than everybody on AJ's resume and all this bullshit. Okay, whatever. Including Joseph Parker, including Dillian White and all that. Yet, Luis Ortiz has beaten no one. No one. So, that being said, you see what they were going by? Luis Ortiz was outboxing Wilder, even though the judges robbed him blind because they had Wilder ahead. I think in both fights. But I know the first one he did, and I'm like, how? How was he ahead? At what point was he winning this fight? But the whole point they was going by, like him outboxing him and then getting knocked out. Arthur Spilker outboxing Wilder, then getting knocked out. You know, Gerald Washington outboxing him, then getting knocked out. And it's like, what don't y'all understand? The guy fights crappy opponents. These guys are not good. So again, no, Joseph Parker isn't. We was just saying Joseph Parker's not the same fighter. No, he's not. And Wilder in his camp was betting on that as well. But because Deontay's such a poor fighter, made Joseph Parker look real good tonight, didn't he? Now, Joseph did his thing. Salute to him. Salute to Deontay, too. Because he got in the ring. But you know what? My point is, he's not a good boxer. I've been saying this shit. He's overrated, yes. Because he's just a right hand. If I was training Deontay Wilder, see, I don't know what Malik Scott tells him and what they work on, because when he get in the ring, this motherfucker don't do nothing different. He does the same shit every fight. One thing I would tell him is, look, Deontay, that fucking right hand is not going to work on everybody. You're going to get in there with somebody that you're not going to be able to land that shit on, or you going to land it and they just ain't going to go the fuck down. What do you have now? What is he going to tell me? Well, Aries, they're going to go down. Nobody can take my right hand. No. You need this, So, when you've been fighting the same way all your career, what are you going to do different now? So, all that being said, y'all, Joseph Parker did the damn thing. Okay? So, listen, this is why the fight is ruined. Anthony Joshua versus Wilder is ruined for this reason. If AJ wins his fight, then there's no need for him and Wilder. Like, honestly, for what? What the fuck does he want to go after Wilder for? Wilder just lost. If he wins his fight, he wants to be champion. So whether it's Urkovich or whoever, for to be champion again, whatever, then that's what he's going to go for. Now, if he was to lose, like I said, it just comes down to a redemption fight, crossroads fight for both guys. Who cares? Who cares at that point? Like, who really cares? It's like when Amir Khan fought against Kell Brook. The British fans loved it because this was two great British fighters that never fought their primes. But the fight itself was lackluster. The fight itself wasn't what it should have been. And it wasn't for a title. And it wasn't for, they did nothing in the rankings. This was just like let's just say a legacy. Or they just had a Legends fight before they got really old. Put it like that. That's all. But in terms of boxing itself, who the fuck is talking about that fight? You understand what I'm saying? So it happened that way. For Wilder and AJ, it's like I said, it's a crossroads fight if it was to happen, if AJ was to lose his fight. But at the end of the day, people, when you program yourself to think like everybody else, if they sound stupid, then so do you. And I keep telling people, you can't go by he beat him, so he'll beat him. Some styles, I get it, because they're similar, and you see the comparison to, well, how this guy was able to do that, and he has the same capabilities, but you always got to look at the differences and understand. Like, people was comparing, Adrian to Floyd, and I'm like, man, Floyd is years, like, what, light years better than fucking Adrian, bro. Are you serious, man? There's no comparison between them two. Stop it. Stop. He imitates Floyd. Floyd would fuck Adrian Broner up in a fight. Oh, he's a better version of Floyd because he hits harder. No, he doesn't hit harder than Floyd. He fights at a lighter weight class, and he's knocking guys out at those weight classes. What happened when he started to go up in weight? I ain't gonna keep fighting these big guys. Did you ever hear Floyd say that? And Floyd went up to 154 and fought at 154. Did you ever hear Floyd say, I'm not gonna keep fighting these big guys? No, he came up from 126, was it? Or whatever, and went all the way up, wound up staying at 147. You never heard him talk about, no, I ain't gonna keep fighting these big guys. I'm going back to 126. Excuses. So, no, nothing like Floyd. So, like I said, man, to just say because, Joe Joyce was able to hit Joseph Parker, Deontay's faster than just, so what? Stylistically, they're two different guys. They're two different guys. Completely different styles. Completely different mindsets. And the same way, what did I say about Joe Joyce? I seen Joe Joyce lose to Usyk in the World Series of Boxing. So I already know he can't handle Usyk. When you look at Usyk versus Dubois, and you thought Miller was going to beat Dubois because you thought he was going to quit, he's going to be too much for him, okay, first off, Miller comes straight ahead throwing a bunch of wild, sloppy, soft shit, and then try to, like I said, lean forward and try to get weight behind his shot, but he throws all arm punches to leave himself wide open. That motherfucker head is like the size of a horse head. Okay, he's a naturally big, fat, big-boned dude. Big rib-eating motherfucker. But Usyk, he pivots, he circles out, he goes around both ways. He moves, he doesn't stand there. Different fighter from Jarrell Miller. You thought his size was going to be too much for Dubois. How wrong were you all? Funny thing is, Jarrell Miller gets his ass whooped. Now, who's the first name Dubois calls out? Anthony Joshua. Everybody wants to fight Anthony Joshua. No, mind you, the Wilder fight hadn't happened yet. You know why people are not calling Wilder's name? It's not because they're afraid of his right hand. It's simply because there's no value in Wilder. And Wilder's not going to accept the fight unless he gets the lion's share of the money, because he's a greedy son of a bitch and he doesn't believe in 50-50. You understand what I mean? So at the end of the day, the money fight is Anthony Joshua. That's why everybody, AJ. Wasn't Wilder the one that said, definitely, I believe Joseph Parker definitely ran from him because when you the IBF champion, we could have got on in and this and this and this and this. No. But didn't Wilder also say them other belts don't mean nothing? Everybody knows the only belt that matters is the green belt, the WBC. The most prestigious belt. Ali held all the greats, and them other belts don't mean nothing. Remember? So now all of a sudden, Joseph Parker ran from him. So I'll tell you what could happen too. Should AJ beat Otto Wallin tonight, right? What's going to happen with Wilder if he continues to fight? Okay. Now, how he kept trying to avoid Andy Ruiz, and I know Ruiz has some type of shoulder injury just recently or something. He, is trying to get back right. But if that will be the case, and he's trying to make another big payday, he'll go from saying Andy Ruiz is overpricing himself to trying to make the fight happen. Why? If he's desperate enough. Yeah, that's what happens when you try to penny pinch. You're scared you might lose. And in case you did, you want to make as much money as you possibly can. So when we hear people keep talking about the right hand, and I'm telling you, he's going to fight somebody, and of all people, Joseph Parker, huh? Not a Frank Sanchez, not an up-and-coming guy, somebody who still in the making, coming up, trying to put their thumbprint on boxing, but somebody who everybody started writing off. And I said the same thing, and I'm telling you, no, this is not the old Joseph Parker again. This is the same Joseph Parker that fought against Joe Joyce. It's just Joe Joyce's style was far more effective. And that's why I told you guys, I believe Joe Joyce would knock Deontay Wilder out because Wilder does not know how to box. And the only thing Wilder's going to do, Wilder steps back, and he's just right hand crazy. He throws his shots really wild. And I just think that Joe Joyce will get the better of him because he doesn't give Wilder a chance to think. And Wilder, even when you fight at his pace, still doesn't think. He just tries to do the same shit repeatedly. So now you have two one-dimensional guys going in, but one is 258, the other is 214. So when you motherfuckers was talking about they don't think Joseph Parker's big enough to back Wilder up, are you fucking kidding me, man? Anybody can back Wilder up because Wilder's not a smart guy. The problem with these guys is they fight too cautiously to the point where they eliminate their offense and give him more chances to throw. When you commit to a punch, doesn't mean overcommitting and committing to a punch are two different things. You're not going to beat a guy by just sitting there not punching back. So my whole thing was Parker is he should know Wilder can't box, and he should understand. I need to walk him down, stay in his chest, look, give him angles, and basically get close to him. When I'm at mid-range, be ready to duck that right hand. Long range, he's not going to be able to land it. I'm going to see it coming, and I can counter him. Mid-range, I can see it coming. You know what I mean? And I can also counter him, but I'm looking for the punch first before I'm thinking about throw. When I get in close, that's when I'm going to do my work. And he kept coming over top, catching that right hand. He beat his body up. He warmed down. You could see. I seen him hit. He hit Wilder to the body one time, and I seen him like grimacing. Yeah, he was not taking those shots well to the body or to the head. And I was like, And my cousin said, man, you be working magic, bro. He's like, man, Parker tearing his ass up. Like, I wanted Parker to win. And I thought he could, but goddamn, I didn't know he was going to look like this against him. He said, but you said he could actually shut him out. And I put that on everything I love. I said he could shut Wilder out if he understands what he has to do. He has the ability. Wilder can't box, and Parker can. Didn't Thomas Hearns knock out Roberto Duran in 2 rounds? Yeah, it's a rhetorical question. He did. Right? Didn't Marvin Hagler knock out Thomas Hearns in 3 rounds? Another rhetorical question. Yes, he did. But didn't Duran give Marvin Hagler more problems than he could handle? And that one fight they had? It's another rhetorical question. Yes, he did. So because Hearns knocked out Duran in 2 rounds, Hagler knocked out Hearns in 3 rounds, well, shouldn't he have knocked out Duran in the first round? Huh? 2 the most? No, that shit went the distance. Yeah. How did that happen? Like I told you, every fight is different and every fighter brings a different challenge. And that's what you have to understand. So if you train the fighter, do you train your fighter to fight everybody the same way? You know what's funny? I was sitting there with my son the other night. We were sitting there playing Fight Night Champions. And both of my sons, one of them said to me, though, he said, Pop, you know what I noticed, too? He said, you adjust to your opponents. You fight every different fighter different. I noticed that about you. And my other son said, just like in real life. Both getting fist bump, got right back in the game, and then I knocked dude out. So I'm just saying, real life, same shit. You fight your opponents according to their strengths and weaknesses, and how you combine your strengths, or when you eliminate your weaknesses, or make your weaknesses strengths. Or maybe you have no weaknesses. You understand what I mean? You do have special fighters. But just saying, however it goes, come fight night, you want to put it all together very clever. Not just going in and fight desperate, because that's how the fanboys make it sound. That's how these content creators make it sound. Like these guys have to go in there and fight desperate. You got to be perfect against Wilder. No, you don't have to be perfect against Wilder. You just got to fight this motherfucker and understand he has no skills. I don't want to hear nothing about him being 38 years old. I don't want to hear nothing about he's finished because of what Fury did to him. I don't want to hear nothing about, oh, he only had short notice. I don't want to hear nothing. They all had the same amount of time. I don't want to hear y'all contradict yourself and go back on what y'all said before that ass whooping happened tonight. It's like I told you guys. So when y'all keep talking about AJ's done, I said, listen, you never hear me say, I think AJ can beat this guy. No, I say, AJ, I still think this guy's he can beat, of course. And that if he believes in himself, not because he's washed up or his skills are good. No, he just needs to understand what he needs to do. You never hear me, I guarantee you, AJ. No, because you never know what a guy's going to do. But Wilder sucks so bad, that's where I said, no, I'm going to put my own logic. Listen, and I still would, if Joseph Parker would have lost, it doesn't defeat the logic that I used in his fight with Wilder. It just means he didn't do the things that he was supposed to do properly. Why? Because Wilder is only going to beat you one fucking way. That's the whole thing. So it's not about being perfect. You want to be as perfect as possible, but when you say that, most people picture him in there on the back foot, running for his life, and just throwing counter shots, running and holding, and then complaining about how he won. Nah, he took the fight to Wilder, and that's what he had to do. And like I told you, Wilder has no answers for anything. It's just right hand, right hand. I don't want to hear nothing about my timing was off. I ain't been in the ring in 2 years. I don't want to hear none of that shit. You was talking really confident. You said what you was going to do to this guy. You talked about knocking him out 3 or 4 rounds, and he ran from you and all of that. Now all of a sudden, oh, I got, I do things outside of here. So that's what he want to make it sound like, is that his hunger wasn't really there. You know what I'm saying? And, I'm already successful, and I've been boxing. I don't really miss boxing. I don't have that fire no more. That's not what you were saying before this fight. You didn't say, well, you know what, y'all, put somebody else on this card. I appreciate the offer because, hey, man, you know what? I don't have the fire for this anymore. And I dare any one of you two-faced, hypocritical motherfuckers that say, shit, for all that money they paid him, whatever they paid him. Yeah, because when you motherfuckers open your mouth to say, oh, man, but Floyd, he fought Conor McGregor and he ain't even a boxer. Yeah, for $300 million. And I guarantee you, not one motherfucker on this card made $300 million. I will guarantee you that. Yeah. Floyd got that shit in one fucking night for 30 fucking something minutes. So don't come tell me nothing about no fucking, for the month. Yeah. And that's my point, though. That's my point. Y'all say a whole lot of shit before the ass open, but after the ass open, excuse central. So it's like I said, man, I can't guarantee you what nobody's going to do. But yeah, I put my logic to the test because I wanted people to understand. I did it for myself. But I also wanted people to understand that when you see elite versus elite, look, sum this up for y'all. If you watch the NBA or you watch the NFL, what is the NBA Finals about? Huh? The best playing against the best, they all eliminate each other from every conference. They're eliminating each other. Okay? And it's going to come down to 2. And once it gets to those 2, there can only be 1. You understand what I mean? Same thing with the NFL. Boxing don't have such a system, but it should. When these teams start to play against the other teams, the top teams, then you start to see the games get tighter, the games get tougher. That's how it goes. So now when you look at the 2 best fighters on Wilder's resume, Joseph Parker, Tyson Fury, he lost to both of them. But when I said he hasn't fought Joseph Parker, he hasn't fought Andy Ruiz, the same way I'm saying the same thing about Tyson Fury. So you don't know that he can beat them. No, he tell the world he can beat them. You're his fanboy. You repeat it, so we're supposed to believe it. But what happens when he got in there? Now all of a sudden it's his age, it's this, is that. Man, I'm not trying to hear none of that shit. Miss me with that bullshit. Same thing go for Fury and everybody else. And that's part of when you say guys fought everybody, tried to fight everybody at one point. So yeah, if you had some losses, look at who you lost to. And that's my point. Look at AJ's resume and look at who he lost to. So my thing is, like when you hear him saying, I'm focused, I'm locked in on Otto Wallin, that's who he should be focused on. Not Wilder, not no Jarrell Miller, not nobody else other than Wallin. Because that's who he has to get past. That's who he has to get past. And like he said, if I don't get past Wallin, all this shit dies. You understand what I mean? So going forward, you pass one test, now let's get to this other test, right? You don't sit there and have a math test and a reading test at the same time. You're switching back. No, one test at a time. One test, I'm focused on this. Okay, I did my math test, now give me my reading test and whatever, and so forth, my science, my social studies, my ELA or whatever. You one at a fucking time, and that's reality. That's reality. So I'm about to get in here. It's been a minute, but I'll catch it. Got a house full of people. Yeah, man, this was funny. I had to come out here and make this video. I had to do it. I had to do it. I wanted to get this one done. So I'll be back out here in a minute after I see what happened, or because I got to go watch it first and then see what happened and then tell you guys what's going on. But let me explain something to y'all. And I want y'all to understand this. Aries is nobody's fan. I like certain fighters more than others. But I'm always going to be fair. It's not about favoritism. It's not about who I want to win. Never. It's always about what I see, what I agree with, what I don't agree with. But I'm always going to be fair. So when I'm saying what I'm saying about Wilder, it's not because I hate Wilder. I don't know him. I don't like a lot of the goofy shit he do and say. I don't agree with half of anything he says because he just says one thing, and like him saying he think he won that fight, he cannot possibly think he won that fucking fight. And then to turn around after all that and end up talking about you think you don't know. When the guy asks you, do you feel like you lost your hunger? I don't know. You don't know. But wait, you sat here and said Anthony Joshua is not sure of himself. You said you knocked Joshua out in like 3 rounds. You had so much to say about Joshua and calling him terrified. Wait, at the same time, you're a man sitting up here knowing that you lost your hunger? I mean, motherfucker, you know if you lost your hunger, and I don't know. You know if you lost your hunger or not. You had no problem when they asked you, did you miss boxing? You said, no, not at all. Because I got other different things, business and stuff I, invest in to make money, so outside about it, so I'm in a real comfortable space, so I really didn't miss boxing. That was your words. And all of that was part of the pity party because you wanted people to really feel that you got cheated against Tyson Fury. No justice was done, and that turned you off inside to boxing. That's part of the message he was trying to give. So don't come with that you don't know shit. No, you know if you got something or not. You know what's so crazy? You know everything about Anthony Joshua, but you can't answer questions about yourself when somebody puts you in the hot seat. So, anyway, y'all, that's the way it went. But, again, salute Deontay Wilder for getting his little skinny-legged ass in the ring and trying to fight. Salute Joseph Parker for going there and handling business like he, said he would. And again, the guy talking all this shit, that's not how you win fights. It's the skills. Joseph Parker wasn't talking shit. He was being real polite. Sitting there talking like, he wasn't talking no shit, but he went in there and got the job done. And that's what I'm impressed with. Not all that bullshit. So for the Jarrell Miller's big mouth motherfucker always talking shit, calling somebody a bitch, telling somebody to suck his dick, and talk about fucking people, mamas, and that clown shit does nothing for me. You said Brits were quitters. You said Daniel Dubois was quitters. You called him a bitch. You shoved him on stage and all that dumb shit. Talking about you just trying to put on the show because everybody was bored and all that. Well, if he's a bitch and a quitter, what the fuck does that make you? Because you got beat by a bitch-ass quitter, according to your own words. Oh, I was just trying to sell the fight? Nah. That's what I told you. Handle business in the ring. It's not about all that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I'm this, I'm that. No. Get in the ring and handle your business. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Talk to me in the comment section, y'all. What y'all think about everything I just talked about? Everybody else, I'm going to have to do separate videos for. I'm about to get here and see what's going on. And I see my cousin in the window, so yeah, let me go check this out, see what's going on. I'll be back in a little bit. But talk to me in the comment section, y'all. Enough talking.